Well, we've been working through our ginormous pile of Japanese guitars, and so I figured we'll do a video where I just grab one and I'll work on it and see what we get. I'll go with this guy. Looks like an electric. Okay. So it's FNC and Boy. I know a little bit about this company. They made these out of the Fujigen factory, and these are typically, this is probably somewhere in like the 90s and early 2000s. These are cool guitars. We're gonna go ahead and restore this. This is pretty rough, pretty dirty. It's got three P90 pickups, which is really cool. So it's kind of got that single cut Les Paul style body. And it's got the Goto tuners. These Goto tuners are things you normally see, especially out of the Fujigen factory. They're really nice. These pickups were also probably made in-house at the Fujigen factory. Typically, most of the Anboys were, and so they're going to sound really good. Let's first just check and see if we get any signal on this one. It's always a 50-50 on these. We're not getting any signal. Just make sure. Oh, that's why we're not getting signal. The amp's not plugged in. Yeah, rule number one, if you want to get signal, make sure your amp's plugged in. It's working, it just needs cleaned up. This pot feels a little funny, so I'm going to be careful. I don't want to ruin anything in there by overturning it. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to start by clipping the strings. I'm going to use my fret clippers to clip the strings real quick. This is a fret tool, but I use it to clip strings. These strings are really old. You can kind of just tell. You probably can't really see the camera, but they're really rusty, so we're definitely changing these. No question about it. This guitar is just filthy. The frets are filthy. The guitar body is gross. Just been probably sitting in storage for a long time. Now, one thing I will mention, I'm going to turn the air compressor on. It's good to have an air compressor because it helps get a lot of the dust off, and I use steel wool to clean the frets, so that helps with that too. I've talked about this in my other video, but I use quadruple steel wool because it does a really good job of cleaning the frets, and it'll leave little micro scratches on a dark neck like this, but then I just come back in once I use the air compressor. It's very important to use that because the steel wool will also get into the magnets on the pickups. But once I clean off the frets, then I'll go back in with Old English. It's a dark wood cover, and so it really makes the neck look really nice and new. Now, as you can see, this is really making the fretboard really come alive again. It looks super nice. I'm going to go ahead and bring the pad back in here. Truthfully, I went to Walmart and I got an oversized mouse pad, computer mouse pad, and it seems to work pretty well. I know they make specialized ones for guitars, but it doesn't really matter. So the next part I want to do is I want to go ahead, you can kind of see this, the finish is really filthy on here. I'm going to use a swirl mark remover. This stuff is made for cars. It's for taking out a lot of scratches in the finish and stuff like that, but it works really well on guitars as well because it's very similar the way they do the finishes. Anyways, I'm putting gloves on because this stuff's pretty nasty. You really don't want to expose your skin to it. Pretty harsh chemical. I try to avoid using chemicals when at all possible, but sometimes you kind of just have to for guitar work. And I just use these blue shop towels. They're really nice. I know a lot of guys will use microfiber cloths and things like that, or all cotton. What I like about these is they're disposable. I was having to wash the microfiber cloths at home, and again, there's just a lot of chemicals I use, so I don't really want to throw that in my washer. So it's a little more expensive, but it's kind of nice just to have something you can throw away when you're done with it. So we're just getting all that cloudiness off, and this is going to really make the finish look really nice. It's a little pricey. It's been a little bit since I've bought some, so I couldn't tell you how much it is, but Again, this, you know, some you can buy at Amazon or Walmart. By the way, I don't get paid to recommend any of these products. These are just the products I use. And if you see some spots where it's still kind of hanging in, just a lot of it's elbow grease. But look at that. I mean, it's already so much better. I don't go through this process on every single guitar. Truthfully, not every guitar is really worth spending this much time on. With this being a Fujigen guitar, I feel like it is. Again, all this stuff that we do, all these guitars are available on Ron's Gear Garage. We've got the links below. The other guitar business, which I've been running for 11 years, is Copper Chord Music. All the stuff for Copper Chord is sourced locally. All the stuff for Ron's is sourced from Japan. I'm gonna go ahead and get some more. The headstock's pretty bad too. Yeah, the swirl mark remover works really well when you see like cloudiness. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good on that. Let me go ahead and open up the back. Grab a little Phillips here. We're gonna open up the electronics cavity. It seems like it just needed a little bit of electronic cleaner. This is also a really essential thing to have if you're working on your own guitar or you got several guitars. Definitely grab you a can of electronic cleaner. Don't grab WD-40. WD-40 does have a electronic cleaner, but don't just grab the normal. Anyways, what I do is I'll actually just spray this right in the pot. I don't know if Caleb can get a good shot of that, but I'm just trying to get into, there's like an opening in the potentiometers, the pots. And you just kind of try to get that nozzle in there. Spray a little bit. And that should really do the trick. Try to let that sit for a second. And I'm going to just take these knobs. This is just kind of, if I turn them back and forth, we're just working them into the electronics. There's something really funky about this one. Oh no. Well, so the bad news is this pot is broken. I was thinking it might be earlier. We may not have time to fix that today, but maybe we'll have another video for potentiometers. This one, it was working, but it's definitely not working right. A pot should not keep going. So this is broken off. But they're really just small little parts. The pots are cheap, pretty easy to fix, but yeah, that's broken. We'll do that later, but let's just go ahead and string this guy up. And we're just gonna slip these in the back here. Go right through. Super easy. If you're grabbing them from a guitar pack, they'll all be coiled up and marked. I get mine in bulk. I don't know why I put the string pegs in my mouth when I'm working on these guitars. There's probably another way to do this, but it just seems to be the easiest for me. Okay, I got my tuning pegs all lined up, and so I'm gonna just go ahead and throw it in place real quick. I've got another video all about restringing guitars that we'll link as well. We can kind of go in more depth on that, on this whole topic there. But everything that I'm doing right now is covered in more detail there. I throw the string through the hole, kind of do a hand at the 12th fret, bend it in. You always want the string going in towards the headstock. Now I'm going to just get it to tension real quick, kind of just generally by ear. And then we covered this in the other video too, but I'm just going to floss the strings real quick. Just taking the slack out of it. Otherwise, your strings will keep going out of tune, and you don't want that. Okay, I'm going to clip them with the tool that's not meant for clipping, but it just makes it look pretty. I really don't understand when people leave those strings just hanging out there. It's just kind of sloppy. Okay, the neck has a little bit of a down bow, so we're going to adjust that. We also have a video how to fix high action, which goes over how to adjust your truss rod. Super helpful. Every truss rod's a little different. I think we might have gone over 2 different styles there of truss rods. This one is probably a Gibson style, it looks like. So I got a little handy dandy Gibson truss rod adjuster here. See, slips right into place. I'm gonna go ahead and just tighten it just a little bit here. Okay, neck is pretty straight. Call that good. Now let's check the action. Let's see, where are we at? We're at 5/64ths and 4/64ths. That's actually pretty good. I don't think it really needs messed with. I guess different people measure string height differently. I always refer to it by 64ths of an inch. I guess some people go by different metrics. You can go by millimeters if you want to. The 64ths of an inch might seem funny to go by, but that's kind of like what most guys do. It's kind of the easiest way to reference. I'm just checking what the radius is real quick. We've also got a video that talks about how to measure the radius of your guitar. I'm gonna adjust these. Okay, cool. We won't hit everything in this video. Like I said, the only thing we're not gonna really get to is the changing out of the pot, but we'll do that next week. The action is all the same across. So do just one more quick tune-up. That's it, guys. That's what we can get to today. Looks like I got a customer, so I'm gonna grab that. We're out of time anyways, but we'll fix the pot next week. Looks like I didn't clean up the pickups quite enough, so I'm gonna do a little bit more of that next week. But yeah, all in all, I just got to put it back together. But this thing plays the way it should. So stick around for next week. We'll get to rewiring pots and have a good one.